Hi, I'm Geri, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Geri.
Drove over here with the main speaker tonight as my sponsor. And I haven't seen him in a long time. We talk on the phone every morning, which gives me a focus for the day. I love that. Every morning at 7:30, I call him. And anyway, on the way over here, he said called me a loose cannon. And I thought, Jesus, what does that mean? So he told me. Anyway, I got to this program when I was 45, and I went to a meeting over in Hollywood, daytime meeting, and my life was a mess. I had married a guy. I lived in Chicago. Married a guy I met at a television station. He was a television sports producer, and we had a wonderful, jolly, fabulous life for a few years. And we didn't even know anybody who didn't drink. And it all fell apart, of course, because he was an alcoholic and I was an alcoholic. We had a couple kids. We ended up out here in California, and we were just separated when I came to AA. I met my sponsor at that meeting because he was a loose cannon. And he was raving, and I thought, Jesus, that guy's nuts. Why don't they throw him out? And but I trusted him because I was just as nuts. And I loved what this guy said. Took a chip. I just simply did for the first time in my life what I was told to do. I did what I was told to do and tried not to argue about it. And I remember one night I had been given direction to pick up a lady and take her to a meeting in Santa Monica, and I lived in Beverly Hills and she lived down in LA, and I was supposed to go down to LA and take this lady to Santa Monica and take her all the way back, and I said, there must be a lot more people who are closer. And but I was given that direction, so I did it. And after I did it, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times, it became a habit. I started singing on the way home, and I thought, God, something wonderful is happening. Anyway, I was sober 5 years, and I don't know what caused this slip, except I was crazy. I really did go nuts one afternoon. I couldn't get a hold of anybody. And I was standing in front of the kitchen sink, and I don't know where men go crazy, but I think a lot of women go nuts at the kitchen sink. And on the ledge, there was a bottle of mouthwash. And I just knew I was losing it, and I just took the mouthwash and I drank it down. And then I thought, I'm not going to go down in flames on mouthwash. Would you? So I went up to the liquor store and I got some vodka, and I finished off the drunk and ended up with my hat in the, my head in the cat box in the kitchen floor, and Clancy standing over me. So anyway, I did get right back the next day. And then I got very involved in the program, really involved. I have to jump right in the center of things to feel like I'm a part of. I can't sit on the sidelines. Anyway, my career took off very well in a direction that I had never anticipated. And so for close to 10 years, life was wonderful. My husband had died after I was sober 9 months, and he had had a heart attack. And so that took care of that. Well, I never remarried. Anyway, so life was going along pretty well. I was sober about 9 years. And the only problem I was having, and it reminded me this week with Senator Bradley and his regular heartbeat. I was doing television 3 nights a week on the news. I had no business doing that. I mean, I didn't know what I was in there with a bunch of pros, and I was just, I felt stupid. Anyway, so every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, it turned out I was getting arrhythmia attacks. until finally they had to take me over to Cedars, and they wanted me to take Valium, and I explained, no, I can't take Valium. And the third time they took me to Cedars, this doctor said, well, you won't take Valium, so don't come back here again. So I had kind of grown up. My dad was advertising manager for the AMA, and I had kind of grown up really revering doctors. And so I thought, well, okay, make it the smallest amount possible. So he gave me a prescription for 5 milligram Valium, which I took Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoon regularly. And I didn't have any more arrhythmia. Also, I didn't say anything to anybody in the program because I thought, my life is at stake, you know? I have to take these or I'm going to die. And I was not abusing them. I swear I was not abusing them. It turned out that my system became dependent on the Valium, but that comes later. Anyway, I was also dating a guy at the time who smoked dope, and when we would go out we would shoot one day a week, and we'd go out after the shoot, we would light up and smoke a little dope, and again, I didn't say anything about that. Still wasn't drinking, but it was inevitable, right? It was inevitable. So I went out for 10 years, folks. And I really honestly thought that I would be able to cope with it, with what I'd learned here. What kind of an ego is that? I really thought that with all the things I've learned in AA, I would be able to drink like a lady again, if I ever did. And it wasn't until I had a granddaughter, and I noticed I was carrying the wine bottle back to bed with me with half a pint of vodka under the pillow. I thought maybe I better get back to the program. So I called my first sponsor, because that was the best sobriety I ever had. What he had taught me. He had taught me wonderful things. And he still is teaching me wonderful things. One that I'll never, ever forget, and it runs through my mind every day, because I have a lot of trouble with my mouth. I don't know about you guys, but I can get in a lot of trouble with my mouth. And he taught me a thing: is it kind, is it true, is it necessary? Whenever you have to say, you wonder, should I say this or not, run that through your head. And boy, it's just become a psychic mantra. It just goes through my head. I don't always manage to do it right, but he's been a very important person in my life. And I suggest strongly that if you don't have a sponsor yet, get a sponsor that you trust completely. And just do what they tell you to do without an argument. I'll have 3 years coming up. I tell you, it's one thing to be a drunk woman when you're 40, 35, 25 when you're cute. It's really disgusting to be a drunk old woman. And I really didn't want that. I didn't want to go out that way. And I love being sober now. I really cherish it. I feel very fragile these days, as I think a lot of us do at Christmas time. And I don't want to go where there's alcohol being served. I don't want to go out with people who I know are going to drink. And my son wanted to have a party at my house. And I said, no, not because I don't want to spend the money. Really, that's part of it, but I don't want open wine bottles in my kitchen, thank you. I don't want to lose this sobriety this time. I really don't. I know there's no coming back again. And I wish I'd come to this meeting before. I like Sunday night meetings, and I'm really looking forward to our speaker, and I thank you very much.